I am shook. Very much so shook. Hey girl, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faye and I am back with another complexion review for you guys. So as you can see by the title, today's video is going to be all about the new Too Faced Born This Way Healthy Glow Moisturizing Skin Tint, which looks like this. It does have SPF 30 in it and we're gonna see what it's giving. This has actually only been out for about a week or so, and when it initially launched, or like a couple days after it launched, I jumped online to try to look at some reviews to figure out what my shade was, and there weren't a ton of reviews out there. So you guys already know I went ahead and jumped on Sephora, ordered it, took my best guess at the shade so that I could get on here and review it for you guys and let you guys know the tea, especially for my oily skin girls. So if you're interested in this product and want to see a wear test, then let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, y'all, so before I jump into the application of the product, you guys already know I have to give you the tea on the claims. So this product comes in 18 shades, and I'm just looking at the Sephora website if you're curious, but it comes in 18 shades. The price range is $42, and this claims to be an oil-free, nourishing serum foundation with up to 24-hour wear and hydration. It has SPF 30, as I mentioned, and it's supposed to provide healthy, glowing skin. It's supposed to be medium coverage, natural finish. It's a liquid foundation, of course, or liquid skin tint. And yeah, that's pretty much all the claims. Light coverage, long wearing, hydrating, oil-free, SPF. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like I mentioned to you guys, I did pick up the shade Butter Pecan. The shade before this I knew for sure would be too light, and the shade after this I had a pretty good feeling was going to be too dark. So I settled on this one. I did do a little swatch on my face when it came in, and it looked pretty good. So we're going to see what it's giving on my entire face today. Okay, so I went ahead and zoomed you guys in, pinned my hair back, so let's go ahead and get into it. So first up, I'm going to be using this primer from Milk. This is the Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. I love going in with this one as my first primer because it's going to give us a nice matte base, and it's also going to smooth our pores a little bit. After that, for some additional smoothing, I'm actually going to be going in with this primer from YSL. This is the Touche Eclat Blur Primer. I pulled this out of my collection recently after seeing Tasha use hers, and I've literally had this forever and never used it. And so I decided to pull it out after seeing her talk about it on her channel, and I've been obsessed. So we're going to use this for some additional blurring on the skin. And then last but not least, I'm going in with this primer from e.l.f. This is the Power Grip Primer with niacinamide, another one that I have been loving. I used my green one up completely, so I've transitioned over to this one, and I actually like this one, I think, a little bit better. I love, of course, that it's pink, not that that really matters, but I do find that this one is a little more tacky than the green one. And of course, having that niacinamide, the skincare added to the primer is always a plus. Okay, and then to set everything in place, I'm going to go in with this balm from Danessa Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm in the shade Universal, and I'm really just going to focus this on the areas of my skin that get the most oily. This is a balm that sets to a powder, and honestly, if you have oily skin, you need this because I cannot live without it now. It keeps me so matte throughout the day, controls my oil, and just really is that girl. So if you don't have it, even if you're not oily and you're just looking for something to improve the longevity and wearability of your makeup, I highly recommend. Okay, so face is primed and ready to go. So let's go ahead and jump into this product. It does say to shake it up really well. I did notice when I shook it up the first time when I was just testing the shade that it kind of came spilling out the top, which I expect that it will probably do again. Okay, it didn't do it this time. So maybe just be careful if you decide to pick this up the first time you open it. You want to shake it up really good, but just be careful when you're taking the top off. It may spill out a little bit on you. But I'm just going to pour a little bit of this onto my tray. You guys already know the vibes. Show you guys the consistency. As you can see, it's a little bit runny. There you go. It's a little bit runny. which isn't an issue. It's a skin tint, so I don't expect something super thick. But let's go ahead and apply it. I'm just going to use a brush because that is my preference. If you want something a little bit, if you want the product to be a little bit more sheer, you can of course use a sponge. This already says it's light coverage, and you guys see I have some hyperpigmentation and things on my face. So I obviously am trying to get the most out of this that I can. So I'm just going to dab it on, and then we're going to blend it out. So before I blend out the other side of my face, I just want to show you guys, this is what the coverage is giving. I do think that the shade is pretty good. So if you are one of my foundation twins out there, the shade Butter Pecan, I think is a pretty good match. I did go ahead and dot this side, but you know, this is not blended out, and then this side is blended out. So it definitely evened out my complexion. It's not completely like fully covered, which we didn't expect. It didn't say it was full coverage, but it definitely evened out my complexion. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the other side. Okay, so this is how we're looking with the first application. This is how the skin is looking, both sides. I think it actually looks pretty good. Like I said, when I applied the first side, it's definitely not giving full coverage at all. I didn't put very much under my eyes, but you can definitely still see the darkness under my eyes, some of my dark spots still peeking through, but it for sure just evened out the complexion, definitely. So I am gonna go in with a little bit more just on my cheek area. I'm just curious to see if I'll be able to build it up at all. So I'm just gonna pick up, and I'm still working with the same amount of product I initially put on my little mixing tray, and I'm just gonna put this, focusing it pretty much just on my cheek area because I'm just curious to see if I can build it up at all. Okay, so this is how the skin is looking after a second application on the cheek area. You can definitely build it up. It's not going to give you full coverage, but I think it's giving a solid medium coverage for sure on my cheeks. You guys saw how it looked before I applied anything on my face, the first layer, and then now the additional layer on my cheek area. I think it actually looks really good. My skin still feels really light and breathable. It doesn't feel like I have a bunch of product on my face. It doesn't really feel like I have anything on my face, to be honest. So I'm feeling it right now. Now, how this is going to wear throughout the day is going to be the true test. But just as an initial first impression, I like the way that it looks. I like how it feels. It's not giving like overly oily or radiant or anything. It just looks like an even, it just looks like it basically evened out my complexion. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face off camera. I'm not going to do anything special. I'm not going to use any new products. I'm literally just going to use my go-to holy grail stuff. We're going to focus on the foundation today, and I'll come back and show you guys how everything is looking once I have the rest of my face applied. All right, you guys, so I'm back. The face is finished. It's serving very much natural beat realness is what I'm bringing you. And honestly, I'm really feeling the skin tint. I know, like I said before, we still got to wear it, see what it's giving throughout the day. But so far, I am definitely feeling it. It is currently 5:25. Let me go ahead and give you guys the check-in before I forget. And this is how the face is looking. Like I said, I didn't do anything extra outside of my normal routine. Literally, after I applied the foundation, I just did concealer, set my face, brows, blush, bronzer, highlight, and a lip. That's it. And set my face with setting spray, obviously. Like the normal stuff that you guys are used to seeing me do. And this is how it's looking. It literally is giving very much skin. Based off my first impression, this is definitely so far among one of my favorite skin tints that I've tried so far, because I just love the way that it's sitting on the skin. It's really giving skin. Like, it looks like I did a no foundation look. Like, I just kind of touched up with a little bit of concealer. You can still see some of my just regular skin peeking through, which is not an issue. There are days when I want to look, I don't want to look like I have like a full beat, full coverage situation going on, and that's what this is giving me. The finish of this is actually reminding me a lot of my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm, the tinted one. This one right here. I've mentioned this to you guys so many times. This is shade number 7. You can see she is very much well loved. I will be repurchasing this during the Sephora sale, but it reminds me a lot of this. Like when I'm in a rush or when I'm going to work and I just want something that looks natural, but I still want some coverage, I will reach for this and use this all over my face like a foundation, even though it's not actually foundation. I have a full tutorial on my channel where I show you guys how I use this if you're interested in seeing, but the finish of my face right now is reminding me a lot of this, and this has been like, this has had me in a chokehold. So if this performs on my face today the way that I hope it will, I could very easily see this also having me in a chokehold. So we will see. But like I said, just checking in, showing you guys the skin, how it's looking. It looks very healthy. It just, I mean, it literally is just giving. It's not shiny. It's not oily. It's not super matte. It's just looking like my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear this throughout the day. I know we're getting a little bit of a late start, but I really wanted to get this filmed for you guys today. I have one other video that I'm gonna film, and then I do have to run out and run a couple of errands. So yeah, I'm just gonna wear this as long as I can, and then I'm gonna check back in with you guys a little bit later on today. I'm gonna try to wear it at least for like 5 or 6 hours before I'm like, you know, have to go ahead and start getting ready for work tomorrow. I'm going to try to stretch it at least 5 or 6 hours for you guys before I come back and check in. So again, face, and I'll check back in with you guys a little bit later. Hey guys, so I am back as promised. It's been a little over 5 hours. It is currently 10:43. There's the time check. I wanted to be able to stretch this a little bit longer, but I do need to go ahead and start getting ready for work. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the check-in. Honestly, I have to say I am pleasantly surprised by this skin tint. I have not touched up my face at all today. So just to give you guys a quick rundown, after the last time you guys saw me, I filmed one other video. It was my Sephora haul, which should be already posted to my channel now if you want to see what I talked about in that video. Then I also ran out and ran a bunch of errands, went to the mall, went to a couple stores, got some dinner, ate dinner, came home, and started getting ready for work. And it is like kind of rainy today, so just so you kind of know like what the weather was and what the vibes were for the skin while I was out and about today. And you guys know, usually when I come back on camera after 5-6 hours, my face is much more oily than this. Like, I don't even really feel like I need to blot my face. I could continue if I wanted to for another several hours, and I really don't feel like my face really needs anything. It's giving natural glow. I don't really feel like it's super oily. I am going to blot it for you guys just so you can see, and repowder again like I always do in my videos, just so that you guys can see what the touch-up would look like. But I think this is probably the first time out of all of the foundation reviews that I've done on my channel so far this year that I've come back on camera and looked like this, not really even needing to touch up my face really at all. It hasn't settled in my fine lines, around my nose, around my mouth. It just looks good. I don't have any complaints. I'm actually surprised, honestly. I'm surprised. Like I mentioned to you guys during my first impression after I first applied it, I definitely was loving how it was sitting on the skin, but I for sure wasn't expecting to not have to do any touch-ups after having it on for 5 hours. So we might have a winner with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and blot my face. You guys already know, just using a piece of tissue. And to be honest, I don't even feel like I need to powder. I can't believe I'm saying this. For a skin tint that claims to be light coverage, I'm literally like, are we serious? Like Two-Face, are we serious? I'm literally shook right now at my face. Like, I'm not even gonna powder because why? Like, Why? Well, I'll do it for y'all, just for the sake of the video, but I don't need any powder on my face. I'm just going to do it on one side because I'm literally about to go wash this off. But, okay, so you guys can see this side of my face is giving very much matte after the powder. And then this side of my face is giving more of that like natural glow, like the kind of lived in makeup look that is just sitting like skin and giving just natural skin glowiness on the face. I don't know if glowiness is the right word. It's definitely not oil though. Maybe radiance is what it's giving, but it's definitely giving skin on this side, whereas this side is giving much more matte. So I could do either or. Actually applying powder to the face will probably just increase the longevity of how long this would actually wear. I think it said, yeah, it does say 24-hour wear. So I'm not going to test it for 24 hours, but you guys know, if you've been keeping up with my previous foundation reviews, how my face usually looks around this time of day. And the fact that I really could have gone without blotting after having it on for a little over 5 hours says a lot. That says a lot. So this one right here might be the new go-to, the summer go-to, the oily skin go-to, all of the above. I actually have to go in the office tomorrow, so I'm going to be pulling this out and wearing it in the office tomorrow to see how it wears for like a full day. So I'll try to remember to put that like in the comments or like in the description or something like that for you guys. If I forget, just let me know in the comments. But wow. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. So if you've been on the fence about picking this one up, hopefully you can find a shade that will work for you. Like I said in the beginning, my shade is Butter Pecan. So if you are one of my shade twins, if you're a NARS Tahoe girly, if you are a House Labs, what shade am I in House Labs? I just have this sitting in front of me. 350 medium cool girly, or any of the other shades of foundation that I have posted previously so far this year that I've tested out, then Butter Pecan will be the perfect match for you. And I highly recommend this one. They did what they needed to do with this one, and not enough people are talking about it. I am shook. Very much so shook. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you plan on picking up this foundation, and join the fam if you haven't already by clicking on the subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys very soon in my next video.